We shall now renovate the CU gas spring model. Please note, use only original KALLER repair kits when servicing and maintaining the CU gas spring. We'll also be using original KALLER toolkits, containing all specialized tools needed to service and maintain the gas spring. You'll also need standard workshop tools that are not included in the toolkit. More information on the tools required can be found in our service instructions booklet. To avoid damage to the gas spring, soft jaws should always be used when fixing the gas spring in the vise. Check the gas spring model against the repair kit number to ensure the correct repair kit is used. Begin by discharging the nitrogen gas pressure. Use an Allen key to remove the protective plug. The special valve tool has two functions. One is to open and discharge the gas pressure. The other is to remove or install the valve itself. Carefully open the gas valve with the valve tool and relieve the gas pressure. For safety reasons, never attempt to remove the valve completely until the gas pressure has fully discharged. With the valve tool still in place to keep the valve open, tap in the bottom plate to ensure all gas pressure has been discharged. Tap far enough as to expose the lock ring. Now use the opposite end of the valve tool to unscrew the valve. Remove the valve using the needle nose pliers from the toolkit. To remove the lock ring, use the universal lock ring tool with mounted tip. Support the tool against the edge of the tube. Grip the lock ring's opening and lift out the lock ring. Discard the used protective plug, valve, and lock ring. New ones are provided in the repair kit. In order to remove the bottom plate from the tube, we'll need to screw in the T-handle in the threaded hole in the bottom plate. The bottom plate can now be lifted up. Allow the oil to drain from the tube. Fasten the gas spring in the vise with the piston up. Tap out the piston with the appropriate guide sleeve. Remove the tube and fasten the piston in the vise. Disassemble the guide ring first. Next, lift the piston seal with your thumb and place a screwdriver under the O-ring. Be careful not to damage the seal groove with the screwdriver. Disassemble the piston scraper by pushing it down with your thumb. Disassemble the O-ring and support ring on the bottom plate. Discard the used seals, as new ones are provided in the repair kit. The tube, piston, and bottom plate are to be reused and must be cleaned thoroughly. Clean the components carefully using a degreasing liquid. Dry using compressed air. Open the repair kit and check the contents against the list contained in the service instructions. Examine the components for scratches or any damage that can lead to gas leakage. Pay particular attention to the sealing surfaces inside the tube, on the piston, and on the bottom plate. To begin assembly of the gas spring, mount the piston scraper in the tube. Check to see that the scraper is turned upwards like this. Mount the scraper in its groove. Fasten the piston in the vise. Mount the guide ring. Mount the O-ring in the seal ring like this. Mount the seal with the O-ring upwards. Now, mount the support ring on the bottom plate, and then the O-ring on top. Pay attention to the order. Fasten the tube in the vise with the tube opening downwards. Lubricate the inside of the tube. Be sure to lubricate all seals. Assemble the piston in the tube and push down a bit. Using the appropriate mounting sleeve, tap down the piston until it stops. Fill with the correct amount of oil as indicated in the service instructions. Place the bottom plate in the tube and push down. Knock the bottom plate down far enough to expose the lock ring groove. Position one of the open ends of the lock ring in the groove and press the lock ring in by hand or using a mallet. Screw in the T-handle and pull out the bottom plate so that it sits flush with the tube's upper surface. If the bottom plate cannot be pulled up, the lock ring is assembled incorrectly. Mount the new valve and use the valve tool to screw in finger tight. Before charging the gas spring, make sure you have the correct gas. Use only nitrogen, N2 gas. Use of other gas can be dangerous. Always use a pressure regulator connected to the nitrogen gas bottle. Make sure the shutoff valve is closed. Ensure the sealing washer is in place and undamaged. Choose the appropriate adapter. Affix and tighten. Open the gas bottle valve and check the pressure gauge on the left to ensure the bottle has enough pressure. Adjust the pressure regulator to the correct level for the gas spring. Make sure the gas spring's max pressure is not exceeded. Max pressure is always stamped on the side of the tube. Mount the charging armature to the gas spring. Check that the evacuation valve is closed. Slowly, open the shutoff valve and wait until the pressure gauge needle stops rising. This is the preset charging pressure. Close the shutoff valve. Open the evacuation valve to dissipate pressure in the armature. The charging armature can now be safely disassembled. Affix the protective plug and tighten. It's important to do this as the protective plug has a sealing function. The gas spring is now ready for use.